Our training for May 22nd, 2016 will be about how to find an ancestor on an unindexed image-only record on FamilySearch, and then how to attach it to that ancestor in FamilySearch. This is new, and so I hope this is something that will really help you as you research. So here I am at FamilySearch, and I'm already logged in over here on the right hand side. So to be able to go and look at image-only records, I'm going to go ahead and go to the search page and go to the records. Okay, so here on the search page, you can search historical records over here on the left-hand side. I know if I do that, my ancestor won't come up on this unindexed record. These will actually, on the left-hand side, only find those that are actually indexed, and that's why those of you that index is so great. We really appreciate it. But what we're going to do is research by location on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the United States because I want to show you how to get to a record in Florida. We're going to actually be looking at a probate record. So we're going to click on Florida, and then on the left-hand side here, you will see that this is the Florida indexed historical records. So again, you could actually search here, but that's only going to search the indexed records that FamilySearch has right now. And on the right-hand side, you can search the catalog or the wiki. But for this training, I want to come down to the bottom, and you can see that this is Florida image-only historical records. And what I want to do, I love looking at probate records or wills, and we're going to come down here under probate and court, and they are Florida probate records 1784 to 1990. So this is where I want to search and see if I can find a will or a estate record. So this again tells you what we're looking at, and then you can also push this learn more for more information. But what you want to do is you click here on browse through the 662,000 images. But I'm going to show you a trick so you don't have to look at every one of those. Okay, so when you come in here, these are the counties of Florida. So the county I am interested in today is Washington, the very bottom one on the right. So I'm going to click on Washington. And here in Washington, there's some different records that I could look at. Estates, guardian records, and it tells the years, which is great because you don't want to be looking if you know they died, before some of these dates. So that's really important to look at these. But what I'm going to look at is I want this will, 1909 to 1945, and this is volume A. Click there. And why they say it's volume A, because it is actually a book that they held in the county of Washington. And what you're seeing here is the start of a microfilm. For those of you that have done microfilm and ordered microfilms and looked at them, that's exactly what this is. But it's awesome that it's just been put on the website, even though it's not indexed. At least you can look at it and not have to go to the library or have to order it. So let me show you up here is the images. So we're now looking at one of 177. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go over to, I'm going to put in a 3 here and click the enter button. And I'm going to actually go one more. And well, actually another one. That just tells you what the roll is about. And then what this is the outside of the book. It's really hard to tell on this. Sometimes they come up really sharp and clear. I'm going to go ahead and go to this left-hand side and zoom in a little bit, even though on this image you're not going to be able to see a lot. So, so let me go. So this is the outside of the book, and then so when they microfilm, they would do the outside, then they would start turning the pages. So let's go to page maybe 8, and I'm going to push 8 and enter. And then what this is an actual index. So for wills, you want to look at the very first, through the first few pages to find where in the book your ancestor would be, where the will would be, because you don't want to look through 177 pages. If you can find them in an index, then you can go right to that page. So again, this is like if the book is laid open and you've got different tabs of where they would write, you know, if someone's last name started with a B, that's where you're going to find that. So since I know that my ancestor is on the index is 21, I'm going to go ahead and type image 21 in here. And you'll just have to play with this if you're looking for, you know, your last name. So anyway, you probably can't see this, but up here there's 3 names here, and it's really hard to read. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on the left hand side. See the plus? I can zoom in. See, there's those 3 names. They're still probably pretty faint. But what I can do is over here on the right hand side, I'm going to go ahead and do the tools, and I can adjust the image. Well, and so what I can do is just, you know, make the background darker so that you can see the names better. Did you see how I did that? So now I can see the person I'm interested in is John A. Matthias, and it says he's on page 71. Before we go to that page, I wanted to show you a couple other things on this tools. So as you notice, I adjusted the image. You can also invert it, and that's going to be too dark because I already adjusted it. So let me go back to adjust the image, and let's do it. See, now I can make that a little brighter. So it inverted it, but now you can still read it. And as you notice up here at the top, you can actually download it. You can print it. And then over here on the left hand side, that zoom in, out, browse multiple images. This makes it full screen so that you can have it full screen. But for right now, I don't really need that, but you could do that as a full screen. So I wanted to show you that before we go on. Okay, so now we're going to go to page 71. So up here in the top, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that I'm going to go to page 71 of 177. And so I'm just going to put in 71 and then just hit the enter button. And I am going to go ahead and invert that back. And maybe adjust that image a little bit again so I can read it better. Okay, so see, you can just play with it. So let's look if we're on the right page. So this did take us to page 70, which would be, the book is open and they're you know, taking pictures of it when they used to do the microfilms. So 71 is on the right hand side. So this should be his will. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little more. This tells me that this is John A. Matthias, which is right. And then he goes on to leave. He first wants to pay off his debts with his money that he has, and then he starts bequeathing different things to people in his family. Like Jesse will get the land that he owns, and then down at the bottom he's going to bequeath to his niece Emma the following, and this is the very bottom, so you need to click the next image. So I'm going to click next up here at the top. And then I'm going to go up to the top, and this is the rest of his will, of what he's giving to everybody. So that's awesome, huh? I found his will. But what's really cool is that FamilySearch just made this possible, that you can attach this to Family Tree or put it in your source box or both. So let's go ahead, because I definitely want to add this will to this John A. Matthias. So I'm going to go ahead and attach to Family Tree, and then what you do here is the title's the Florida Probate Records, and then I'm going to find the person. You can type in their ID number right here, but since I've been working on this John A. Matthias, he's actually right here, so I can just go ahead and click on him. So now that's going to attach it to him. I'm going to explain why. Just because, you know, this is his will, and you could put other things too, but for this example I'll just do that. And then you can also add it to the source box. On this one, I would go ahead for sure and add it to the source box because there are other people mentioned in the will, and I would like to attach it to them as well. And there's not a feature here to do that to everybody. So you would just do save. Okay, and then that's going to attach it. And let me show you what that did. I'm going to go ahead and go to person. Let's go ahead and we're going to go to his page so that you can see. I'm not sure who's going to come up, but we're going to, oh, it does come up right there. Okay. I don't know that it always did. Well, that's just who I was on last. So if it doesn't, you can also find it. So let's just go down because I wanted to show you where that source is. And here it is, the Florida probate record source. And when I click on that and open it up, here's the link so I can get right back to that page or to that image. And then since I was on, if you read down here, it'll tell you a little bit about it. And since I was on image 72, it actually is going to start out the second page. So I may want to go back. So whichever page you're on is the one that you're gonna, that's gonna, you know, it'll take you right back to that page. So I will want to go and just start with 71. I can go ahead and detach it and go back and just redo that. So I will do that in a minute. But anyway, I hope that this helps. And if you're stuck and don't understand part of this, go ahead and just rewind this back and look at it again and let me know if you have questions.